Mod Review. So welcome back to another episode of Mod Review. This is called the East versus West mod. So this mod is made by Rabbiet. So this mod was basically in the Baidu community. However, I managed to get it through Canadian modders since he's in the community itself. So today I'm reviewing this mod. So this mod is the aftermath of World War II. It's the Cold War basically until today's scenario. And if you look into the Soviet version, you have the invasion of South Korea. You also have the Operation Chromite, which the US and Allied forces managed to land at Incheon and help liberate the South Korean peninsula. And if you look into the NATO version of this, you have the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1962, following the aftermath of the Bay of Pigs crisis, or you can call it the Cuban Missile Crisis. And if you look into the second scenario, you also have the fightings, between the U.S. and the Soviets in the U.S. mainland, more like the Red Dawn scenario. So in this mod, basically this is mission one. This is mission one as well. I haven't yet done any missions, and after a few gameplays, I feel like this is a good mod. Basically on just campaigns, because I do prefer mods with campaign. I don't really prefer mod with only conquest without campaigns. Campaign and conquest, they are both work in the same way to entertain player. If you keep on playing conquest without playing campaigns, what's the meaning of the mod? Even though I do believe that at some point, World Conqueror 4 is hard to mod because World Conqueror 3 is easier. That's why we can see that there's a mod of a World Conqueror 3 more than World Conqueror 4, and of a more fantasized missions and campaigns than World Conqueror 3. Than World Conqueror 4. And if you look at the AQ, this is more of a new version of generals. And if you look into the basic and Washington, you have Davies, Mondi, Grady, Walensky, Hongpale, Kilby, Kraft, Nicholson, Harrington, Boltel, Milley, Sukon, Davidson, Brown, Kosha. You have Roshka, Rexor, Walters, Simonity, Rapp, and Franks. You have the Soviet versions. You have Gologov, Letsov, Vitkov, Fomin, Nasatov, Yumin, and many other more as well. And all these generals are expensive as hell, 8,000 medals. So I'm only around 1,000, so I might save a few because this mod is unhackable. And if you look at Johannesburg, you have Kelly. Kelly's finally back. We have Corpse, all of these modders who help participating into modding in this mod. And you also have Rabbiet, which is the modder of this mod as well. And if you look into the Conquest, Conquest is more of a aftermath of World War II, because you have France, you have Spain, you have Portugal, you have Soviets and Americans, the Soviet and the Allies, partition of Germany. You also got Denmark, you also got Norway, but they were unplayable. Denmark and Norway, Sweden, Finland. You also have Hungary, you also have Czechoslovakia, you also have Austria, but non-playable. You have Yugoslavia, non-playable. Italy, also non-playable. And if you look to Africa, still not yet done. Even though it's a big Africa, Egypt and Israel is too big. There should be, Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, and many other more. And Saudi Arabia is too big. There should be Oman, Yemen, Qatar, and many other more. These are just generic from the mod itself. I do believe that it's not really done. You also have the British right here. You also have France, Indochina, and also Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, Malaysia, and the Chinese Civil War as well. I do love the way that they mention about it, the generic generals are still there, but they remove it. We got Heilong, I think it's Heilong. Yep, it's Heilong. This one, Lin Pai. Yep, Lin Pai. Lin Piu, Lin Pai, I don't know. Long Ho Ren. You also got Juta right here, which is legit. I like the Chinese Civil War. Soon they're gonna move into Taiwan. So this is a version of it. Pretty good though. Still Urumqi. There should be Turkmenistan around here, Civil War. Also got Paintahao right here as well. And Soviet Union, the United States, we have Canada, America. There should be small state around here as well, Nigeria, small nations, they shouldn't be all like this, Guatemala, Panama, and in South America you have Colombia, you got Venezuela, you got Peru, Brazil, You also got British and with the French and the Dutch colonies. Pretty much a good thing. Some are playable, some are none. Wrong flag for Poland, wrong flag for Romania, wrong. Yes, pretty much okay. Here, Bulgaria is fine, also wrong flag. But so many Soviet troops and Tibet is fine there. It should be Nepal and Bhutan and Afghanistan. You know, all those things. You know, Afghanistan, Iraq, and everything. Those are generics anyway. So, on my opinion, I do believe there's something that we need to check more. If we look at the campaign itself, I think after you play a few games, the campaign will automatically gives you what it is right to be. You look at the campaign, this is more of a Soviet invasion of a Red Dawn to the United States. I think Zhukov right here, yeah, Zhukov and Gonev has already landed, and this guy I think I've seen him before. Golikov, yeah, Golikov. This one might be Khrushchev. No, it's Isakov. Sorry, Isakov. This one Vasilevsky. Yep, it's Vasilevsky. So Vasilevsky is more mechanized now. So yeah, and if you look into the second missions of the NATO's, you have Douglas MacArthur, Walkers, and Bradley. You know, they are fighting against the Soviet invasion in northern part of America. And you have a Soviet version of this. You know, you have the invasion of South Korea. Yeah, Seoul right there, just a small portion of that. So we just play the game. Let's try that one. And I'm trying to, you know, I kind of mute the music because it's too loud, you know. Canadian modder mentioned about it, said it is too loud, said that I should minimize it to the bottom, you know, it's too loud. Okay, so some air support, it's pretty bad, so focus on artillery. Since air support is so bad, so we need to focus on artillery. We also have the Soviet general right here, my boy Sokolovsky, pretty good. Also General Halong here in the front. But exactly when the war started and with some Americans' intervention, Peng Dahao managed to lead the division. But he was soon resigned because of some political unrest in Beijing. So that's what actually happens. That's why he kind of let the front stay still. And they also believe that going to war with United States, even though China kind of acquired some of the super weapon like, you know, the nuclear bombs, they still believe that it's best for them to withdraw and kind of, you know, stay low key. They didn't want to just engage into full scale assault because they do believe that at some point, even though, I mean, to be honest, if they did really took out Busan, then South Korea would not be the same as today. But they were reckless about going, you know, the final they was just chilling at Daegu and Incheon, which, you know, caused the whole operation to fall down, which is pretty bad, by the way, if you ask me. Okay, this is some defensive skill, which works really good, by the way. And if you just randomly click attack on the Soviet, they will definitely join. This one is turn 4 for 3-star, but we took it wrong step already. It's already at turn 5, turn 6. Yeah, it's 2-star. Doesn't really matter. Just small growing. So this is a part of the game. It's pretty fun. There's no modding. There's no hacking at this point. And this is Operation Chromat, which you attack from Incheon and led to the invasion of Seoul and kind of how do you call it in English? Cut off the enemy's encirclement. Yes, encirclement the North Korean forces. Daegu. So this is pretty much the East versus West mod. I do like it. I will give it an 8 out of 10. The reason why I do give it a lot of points at this point, because regardless of the language of this mod is being Chinese, all the cities, all the countries, all the nations, all the factions, all the generals, all the skill were in English. Okay, are in English. They are all in English. And the other thing is that this one cannot be modded. So meaning that you have to grind your ass to get all those generals and also upgrade your own skill, which is fun and enjoying at some point. And if you look at the conquest, you can see this is 1948, 50, 79, and 2017. So all of these years, they have the specific sort of historical things. So 1946 is the aftermath of World War II. Soviet Unions, France, UK, and America, they kind of split all of these things by themselves. 1948, in the midst of the Civil War, 1950 Korean Wars, 1979, the Khmer Rouge and the Vietnamese, war, something like that. So there's more. Then it's not just in that. So this is pretty much everything we need in this kind of mod. Even though the border guards is annoying, but it's fun. It's fun to play mods that really consist of historical things rather than just focusing on conquest without introducing campaigns. Even though I do believe and I do agree that at some extent, campaigns are harder to mod in World Conquer 4, but it's best that we enjoy some of historical facts as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of mod review. If you like what I do and you enjoy my review, leave a comment down below or like the video. If you guys want the game, I will link in the description for all of you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time.